Welcome back. State funeral for former Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe, who was assassinated on July 8 in Nara during a campaign speech, will take place tomorrow. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi has left for Tokyo today to attend this funeral. Foreign Secretary Binay Quatra said that Prime Minister's visit will be 12 to 16 hours long, and he will also have a bilateral meeting with Japanese Prime Minister Fumio Kishida. Representatives from 217 countries are expected to participate in this state funeral. Meanwhile, in Japan, opposition continues to mount against the plans for this event. CNN's Blake Essig gets a report on how the cabinet's decision to green-light the state funeral without first having a debate in parliament has divided the nation.
Across Japan, the feeling of shock, sadness, and disbelief continues to be felt nearly 2 months after former Prime Minister Shinzo Abe was gunned down on the street while delivering a campaign speech. In the days that followed, Japan said its final goodbye to its longest-serving Prime Minister. But as messages of condolence came pouring in from around the world, current Prime Minister Fumio Kishida made the decision to further honor Abe's diplomatic legacy by holding a state funeral.
By conducting this state funeral, we are mourning former Prime Minister Abe and showing our country's determination to resolutely defend democracy and not give in to violence.
That decision, that opposition lawmakers say was made without consulting Japan's parliament, is expected to cost taxpayers more than 1.6 billion yen, or nearly $12 million US.
Prime Minister Kishida made this decision by himself. He didn't make a proper effort to reach a consensus that involved the voices of the citizens and the opposition parties.
The Prime Minister defended his decision to lawmakers, but admits his explanation was insufficient. As a result, public opinion against holding a state funeral continues to mount. In fact, according to the latest poll from Yomiuri Shimbun, a slight majority of the public stands in opposition. While recently one man reportedly told police he was so against the event that he set himself on fire outside of Prime Minister Kishida's residence.
Gatherings like this one protesting former Prime Minister Shinzo Abe's upcoming state funeral have been held on a regular basis since the government announced the plan back in mid-July.
Although the specific reason for each person here varies, the underlying message remains the same.
I'm against the idea of holding a state funeral for anyone.
Many people can't even eat right now. Instead of spending billions of yen on his funeral, they can help the lives of many people. It's outrageous that they chose to use it on something like this.
While many people, including the thousands gathered here at this event, don't think it should happen, others say a state funeral is appropriate to honor Abe's legacy.
I support the state funeral. Abe was an international statesman who attracted more people to Japan.
His legacy is reflected in the way he raised Japan's global profile, how he was able to implement a new peace and security law while facing huge opposition, and how that law has now become essential for maintaining peace and security. I think his past achievements for Japan makes a state funeral appropriate for him.
Despite the public backlash, appropriate or not, a state funeral for Abe will take place. A polarizing figure in life and even in death, as deep divisions about his leadership haven't disappeared.